What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? I know I started a little late, 20 minutes late. I'm just trying to set up the Zoom. Just having a lot of trouble with it. For some reason, my main camera is not working off the laptop, my integrated camera. Don't know why. Um, I have it off on OBS to work on Zoom, but it's not working. So this is the only, my main camera here is the only one that's working. And it's out of sync. I don't know why that is. It's crazy. Okay, so maybe not out of sync. I don't know. All right, it's not out of sync. Awesome. So if you hear double the sound, I got a new phone, by the way. My old phone was trash. Microphone didn't work. So good. Got a new phone. Now I can hear everything. Um, but welcome to the chat. Today it's Sunday, Funday Q and A, June 6th, 2021. It's 12:21 p.m. Sorry for the late start of the stream. Today we're gonna be talking to here on the channel anyone in the channel who's an experienced electrician or HVAC technician. We're gonna talk to um, journeymen and mechanics. So anyone who wants to be on the channel on Zoom. Now my camera end's not working, so you're probably gonna have to, also turn off YouTube, or the link is in the description box, by the way. So if you are, let's see here. Yes, the invite on the Zoom meeting is in the description box down below. All you do is copy, paste, click, and you can be on the Zoom chat with me one-on-one. I'll ask questions, basically how long you've been doing the trade for. Have you, what do you go about training new apprentices or helpers? And just basically sharing all your personal experiences in the field. So anyone here in the chat, we're gonna go one at a time here because I can't, go through everybody all at once. So anybody wanting to join in, you're gonna be put in the waiting room. I'm gonna start. I just started it. Let's see if I could. Oh, it's right here. There we go. So please forgive me if you can't see me, just see my full name. You can, if you have headsets, you can put them on, put up YouTube. But I would strongly advise, if you're going to be in the chat, in the Zoom chat, turn off YouTube, or just lower the volume off of YouTube, or just turn off YouTube entirely and keep the Zoom on, so that way you can, hear. And if you have a phone, you could do that. If you're on a computer but you have a phone with YouTube, just shut the sound off of YouTube. You want to go around the chat room, keep up with everyone in the chat. Let's see. So yeah, that's basically it. But I want to know, we got here. Let's see, who do we have in the chat? We got Lawnmower here. Lawnmower, what's going on, brother? He says, reading stuff about solar, off-grid backup, but grid dependent for charging when there's not enough solar. Okay, for off-grid backup, grid dependency. So grid dependency for charging if not enough solar. Okay. Basically charging up backup batteries using solar power energy, if I'm assuming. Not too much otherwise. Interesting, very interesting. You know what? That's really good to talk about, actually. I mean, I don't know much about solar. I just know what I hear. But I know it's called PV systems, photovoltaic systems, PV. I just recently started learning a little bit about it. MikeHolt.com. He has some videos about PV systems. You can go on his website. I left his website in the link in the description box down below. And yeah, it's becoming huge now. solar energy. So, but before we get to that, guys, you know what I gotta do? I gotta run the intro. Let's see if I can find the intro here. Oh, there you go. Let's run the intro. All right, we're back. So, welcome back, guys, to the channel. My name is Jonathan. Those of you first time being here, I'm an electrician by trade and also certified HVAC technician. In that trade for three and a half years, and wow, it's very slow right now. I can see here that yeah. Oh wait, that's why I'm not on the. There we go. Now I'm live. All right, so there's a little bit of a drop on the syncing here. So let's see. I don't know if I can hear myself here. Okay, so there's a little bit of a. There's always going to be some how do you say some delay. So it's the bandwidth. I know a lot of guys are noticing that sometimes on my channel, well, most of the time here on the channel, you know, I'll get the chats a little late, and you guys are like, "Why are you getting chats so late?" Look, it's the bandwidth. It is what it is. I can't really tweak it. I can't do nothing about it. It happens. Sometimes there's a storm. It rains out here where I live here in Staten Island. When it rains, bandwidth is a little slow. So, you know, happens with everybody. Even guys with like FiOS have the same problem here in this area. It's a lot of, it's mostly FiOS. Verizon FiOS is out here and Spectrum. But Verizon FiOS also has the same issues. My neighbors have Verizon FiOS, so they tell me the same thing. When they go watch, you know, streaming apps, it slows down. It's not, you know, bandwidth is always not perfect. Maybe for some of you, depending on where you live. But Lawnmower says, haha, I have a metal gun cabinet in the garage. I painted it flat green, put a high voltage sticker on it, and ran a piece of scrap conduit from the cabinet into the ceiling. Okay. Metal gun cabinet. Whoa. That's pretty wild. That's pretty cool, actually. Sounds pretty cool. But anyways, we're gonna be in this chat. We're gonna be talking to. There's a live Zoom meeting link. For those of you who are experienced electricians and HVAC and you want to go one-on-one with me. Uh-oh, what happened? Okay, yeah, if you guys want to go one-on-one in the live chat, you guys are more than welcome. Just, let's see, let me just set it up here. Participants. Okay, so, not sure. There we go. So, my camera... I'm not sure why it's not working. Yeah, it's weird. Let's see, copy the link. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know. Maybe you guys are not getting... But let me just make sure this is proper here. This is the first time I'm actually doing the Zoom meeting, so I'm going to actually re-edit the Zoom meeting link. So those of you who haven't if you are trying to get into the Zoom, so I'm gonna re-edit it. You may have to, yes, you may want to wait. Oh, Mike Martinez. Hey, how you doing? Okay, so we got Mike Martinez, I believe. Let me just. I just saw someone named Mike Martinez in the Zoom. Okay. And forgive me. There he is. Mike Martinez. All right, so we got Mike Martinez in the waiting room. Let's get a couple more people here who want to, take a chance of going one on one with me. So basically, one on one is like I'm not trying to challenge you or anything like that. Just want to see. I want to know what gone through. Whether you let me know whether you're an electrician or HVAC tech. Um, Electricians, HVAC techs only, guys. Sorry, but I mean, if you're a plumber, hey, that's fine too. Um, you can jump on it as well. Um, we got plumbers out there who are also certified HVAC technicians as well, who do installs and preventive maintenance. So plumbers, if you have certification HVAC, you have the experience, you're more than welcome to join in as well. So, and by the way, like I said, this is the first time I'm on Zoom. So, Mike, oh, Lawnmower is you. Sorry, dude. I just switched over to the to the screen. So, okay, cool, dude. That's awesome. Let's get a few more. Let's get a few more people. I know that's probably not a lot, but get a few more people. In fact, I actually do know. Let's see. I'm not sure if he'll want to go online. Geez, where is my messenger? Facebook Messenger. Don't have it here. That's odd, even on my new phone. Man, yeah, I guess I still gotta, keep tweaking the phone a little bit better. He says, I know, kind of challenging if you're not used to multiple monitors. Yeah, exactly. It's hard also because now for some reason my main camera on my laptop's not working, so I can just show you guys what I'm talking about here. Because normally I have it like this. I'm gonna show you now. The sound is gonna basically cut off because it's just what it is. It's linked to the sound. So here's what I'm talking about. That's for that right there is for the main the integrated webcam on my laptop, and for some reason it's not working on OBS and it's not working on Zoom. I don't know why. I tried troubleshooting it. It's just not working. So let's get Lawnmower on. Mike Martinez. Give me 1 second. There we go. Oops. So what you're gonna do, Mike, is you might have to unmute. You're gonna have to mute YouTube because I might hear it in the background. And let's get you on here. How do I do that? Let's see. Oops. What'd I just do? I screwed up. Okay, so here we go. Oh, actually, let's get you on the screen here too, by the way, before I set you up. Oh, there we go. And there he is. Can you hear me, buddy? Let me know. I don't know if I can probably hear you. Okay, he's in the chat. That's odd. You're in the chat. So you don't want to. Okay, if you don't want to be on. Hold on. Let me turn on the mic. Okay. Okay. So Mike is trying to get his microphone on. Let's give him a minute here. No camera. Okay, listen, if you guys also, if you don't want to be on camera, it's totally fine. We can put you on audio. It's cool. Don't worry. No problem. Okay, let's see. I think I should be able to hear you as well through my end. Okay, yep. I should be able to hear you. Just make sure. Okay. All right.
Okay. Normally,
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
all right. The microphone was actually on a different table. Since I've been working from home a lot, I've got the work office set up on another table.
It's cool, man.
So I had to go grab the headset with mic on it.
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works. I like, welcome to the channel, man. I know you've been in and out of the channel for a while, and you're back. You're back on the channel as well. I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
so Mike, tell us, man. What do you do, man? What do you do, like, mainly do for a living here?
Uh, I work for the Dallas Water Department, the City of Dallas Water.
Okay. Oh, hold on a sec, Mike. I got like my fiance out at the front door. Just give me 1 second. Be right back, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. All right. You good? Oh, thank you. Yeah. There you go. Okay, sorry about that, bud. Go ahead.
Okay. Actually, I'm what they call a compliance coordinator for the Dallas Water Department.
Okay.
Uh, that is both regulatory compliance, and then I also work a lot with the standards and the emergency preparedness and response for the department,
Oh, cool.
which is continuity of operations. I also am a certified maintenance manager and a CMRP, certified maintenance reliability professional. The thing is that we have regulatory requirements to have basically a maintenance management plan or an asset management plan, which we have to call it because the scale of the department, the sheer size of the department. Uh, I actually started with the water department as a water meter reader
Oh, really?
because I was doing a QC for the Mead Corporation. And at that time, they were losing a lot of sales, and going from $25 an hour to a $9 an hour job still sounded better than being laid off and starving to death.
Hey, yeah. I mean, I hear you. I mean,
And
it's
then
understandable.
I ended up being the senior mechanic for the department for about 20 years before I moved into this position.
Wow.
So,
Oh, that's cool, man. I mean,
yeah.
you're really That's how long did that take you for to just get
Uh,
to?
I've been with the department now for right on 25 years. I'm actually retiring in 4 weeks,
Wow!
and
Congrats, man. Congrats.
yeah,
Wow.
and I've got enough. I've got enough saved to carry me over before. Well, I obviously get a pension from the water department,
Nice.
but I've got enough to carry over any anticipated or at this point probably most unanticipated expenses
Right.
until like Social Security
Mm.
and Medicare kick in. So it's something I've been working on for 30 years. So it's time.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, man. Congrats, by the way. I mean, that's something, dude. That's something. You made a you made a huge career out of it. And
Yeah,
but
and
what do you work remote now still, or you're like
uh,
back and forth, like you're at home, then they call you to
well, since October, I've been working in office full time again.
Okay.
Uh, but on weekends, I may pick up a few hours each day on the weekend,
Right.
working from home.
Okay.
It's uh, the downside of the of retiring is they're realizing just how much stuff I was doing.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to train two people
Oh, okay.
to cover. I keep trying to convince them for the emergency preparedness response,
Right.
hire a consultant to do it for you.
Okay. Oh, I mean,
It's because well, in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
uh, a lot of regulations on chemical handling and requirements on the potable water side,
Mm-hmm.
the drinking water side of the water department, came into effect. In 2020, we actually expected the wastewater side to follow suit,
Right.
but we know what happened last year.
Mm-hmm.
But the increasing regulations on the wastewater side, which is what we call the America's Water Infrastructure Act,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the wastewater side is going to start up as soon as some semblance of normality returns.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's the regulatory requirements are increasing, uh, at least with over the last 5-10 years. They've realized that the investment in the infrastructure uh, needs to increase a lot. One is we have to get the infrastructure back up to an acceptable uh, standard
Right.
within the country as a whole, but we have to develop a resiliency. And the big example that I get to use to scare people now is what happened to Texas in February.
Right. Right. Yeah, the whole
So,
blizzard and power outage and no water, and that that's something that
yeah,
they're trying to like avoid for any parts of the country. That, for instance, like anywhere up north, like we go through polar vortexes or whatever they call it here, um, and we'll have sometimes like recently here in New York, not recently, but I think it was like 2014, we had a city shutdown because the blizzards were so bad, and which also caused some parts of the city to shut down, and especially like I believe it was like Brooklyn, or I think it was like the Bronx. They were out of power because of the decreasing amount of like the weather and the freezing temperatures. Caused a lot of people's water lines to freeze, so there was no water for people living in like affordable housing. Uh, it was pretty hectic. It was pretty crazy, and businesses shut down because of that, and it was curfew. So, but yeah, I see what you mean. Like you guys have to you know be on top of standards, and have emergency procedures of you know what could happen, what can we afford to happen, and how can we, like you said, how can you avoid what happened in Texas happen anywhere in your location or anywhere else, because other states have to follow suit with that. Um, Even though if they a natural disaster, they don't think a natural disaster could happen. Even like for other states like Florida, southern states, Florida, I guess Louisiana and so forth, you know, they don't think that, oh, we're not gonna get a blizzard. Doesn't get doesn't snow out there. But in other situations like hurricanes, tornadoes, and so forth, yeah, you gotta have contingency plans, and make sure that everyone has what they need: emergency power, water, uh, water supply, and so forth. Uh,
well, I am proud to say
mhm.
that the Dallas Water Utilities, the safety of the water
Mhm.
and the availability and delivery of the water was not compromised
Oh,
during that
that
time
well,
period.
that's good. Thank goodness for that. You don't want contaminated water, and that'll really devastate the whole. You know.
Well, that's actually what happened. Well, let's not say that the other locations had contamination,
Right.
because I don't know that for a fact.
Mhm.
But their treatment processes and their delivery processes were impacted. So boil water notices went out. It's if we suspect
Mhm.
that something with the water will issue, or the departments will issue the the boil water notices,
Right.
and the water could be perfectly fine, but we just cannot take the chance.
Right. Right. You don't want to,
Yeah.
yeah, because you don't want to risk people just drinking water from, you know, contaminated lines and, not telling them, hey, don't boil the water. The water's fine, and something like multiple people start getting sick.
Yeah.
That'll just be that. Would that also fall in the responsibility of the water company? Like, they will be responsible for like not letting people know, you know, even if they don't think like, hey, if the water's fine, drink it the way it is. But then people start getting sick. Does that fall in their responsibility for the public? Or what happens to them?
Absolutely. People go to jail for that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Um, one of the things I did go to Manhattan in Christmas of 2012,
Mm,
and I believe Hurricane Sandy hit in October
right.
of that year.
Yeah.
I remember going down to the financial district,
Mm,
and a lot of buildings or basements were still being pumped out.
mm-hmm.
So, and there are just so many different companies out there trying to restore the buildings to usable condition.
Right.
So that was interesting to see, and then seeing all the FEMA people running around the entirety of Manhattan doing surveys and knocking on people's doors.
Right.
That was
It was huge. We, especially Manhattan, downtown Manhattan. Well, everyone took a hit in Manhattan, especially downtown. Downtown was like disaster zone. You had, from what I remember, there was a lot of buildings there, including buildings nearby the World Trade Center that went through days without power because the fact that their emergency generators were in the basement. And they just got flooded and destroyed.
yeah.
So that, yeah.
My cousin was the person I was going to meet,
Mm,
and she lives on well, at that time she lived on the fifth floor of a building in uh, on the east side, down by uh, right next to Alphabet City.
oh, okay. The Lower East Side. Yeah.
Yeah, and so she ended up having some friends from Long Island.
Mm,
They came over, picked her up, and she stayed with them until power was restored.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. During that time. Yeah. From what I remember, I was still. Let's see, Hurricane Sandy. Yeah, I think I was still. I think on my second year as an HVAC tech, and I remember that the company I was working for was located in Lower East Side, and there was a lot of property damage. There was no power still. Everyone was, you know, using their cell phones to communicate with their, clients and customers, and um, there was like, I think from what I remember during that time, there was like two service vans out of, I think, the 6 or 7 vans they had that were available, and they had brand new service vans that were parked in a uh, monthly parking space, like a garage parking space, and that parking garage got flooded, and everything in those vans, including equipment, their gauges, tools, destroyed. Engines were corroded, destroyed. It was like, wow. But luckily, FEMA came in, the government came in and helped them, the company out, and buy them new vans, to replace the ones that they just recently bought before the storm. And it was really tough just trying to get to, all the customers that they had with with only 2 vehicles that were that we only had in the fleet. So um, I also remember that there was a lot of restaurants that just couldn't operate. Like their sump pumps were also destroyed because of flooding. Uh, you know, there was some water contamination in some of their water supply. Like their sewer pipes were cracked. I don't know if it was due to aging or, I don't know. Some people say it was like over pressurized water lines because of the storm, the flooding. Um, but for whatever reasons, they just weren't able to open up. We're one of the few companies that went out and tried to get them to operate again, to get their freezers working, the AC up and going, their sump pumps motors replaced. It's like just pandemonium. It's crazy. Uh,
Pipelines are a huge thing countrywide right now.
mhm,
Uh, the and we refer to them obviously as transportation
right.
because we're transporting a product or we're transporting a waste.
Mhm,
But the current industry recommendation is to replace those reinforced concrete pipes and even metal pipes
right.
is to replace them every 30 years.
Mm,
But like thinking of your own neighborhood
mm,
to replace a couple miles of either potable water or wastewater line on the main road that you take to get to work or get to the grocery store, you can imagine what a disruption that would be.
oh yeah.
So multiple projects get scheduled together, such as we'll we work with what we call transportation, which used to be streets department.
Mm,
We coordinate with them when we find out that they need to replace a section of pavement.
right.
Then we start working with them to start replacing the underground infrastructure, the buried infrastructure, uh, the the gas company. We work with them. The the electrical company, all the communications that are buried now. So I have seen projects where we had to tear up a street for repair
Right.
or replace those big sections of pavement. I've seen up to a dozen different what you could relate to infrastructure organizations and 25 different contractors, including the subcontractors. These are just monster ones. And the last uh, pipeline project right now is I'm about to get into a fist fight with the Texas Department of Transportation because they want to build a road,
Right.
and it's the general consensus of our engineers that the surface of the roadway and let's just say the roadway, including the bed,
Right.
is not a sufficient clearance from our pipeline.
Mhm.
So we're trying to get them to agree on a change order where, since they're going to have that all torn up, let's just dig the trench 3 or 4 feet deeper
Mm.
and put the pipe down there.
Right.
And their engineers, oh, we looked at it, we know what we're doing.
Well, you see, that's the thing about engineers. I know there's I mean, engineers in general. I mean, it's a good job, right? They get paid really good amount of money to do what they do. The problem I have, and I believe most all trades have with engineers, is code wise. And I know I mentioned this. You probably seen it in my previous videos about how you know tradesmen on the construction site work with engineers with the way they basically lay out the blueprints of the plans, the specs, and but they don't. I feel personally they don't have the actual hands-on experience. Now, mind you that there are some engineers who started off as like plumbers or electricians or HVAC techs. They have an idea, a clue what's going on, and they would just say, okay, well, in reality, this can't work, so we have to take a different route. Then you got the ones that just keep coming down straight out of college, straight out of school, and listen, I know I'm probably gonna offend a lot of engineers, but I've met engineers where they would just like say, no, no, that's no, that's up, that'll work, and you're telling them as the electrician, like myself, it can't work because this will not pass inspection. This is a violation, you know, and they all just like, oh, you know, like I know this, I know that. I call them know-it-alls, but like
And
you're saying, it's like, well, you know, let's dig in a trench 4 inch deep, 4 feet deeper, and they're telling you no, that's it's fine. We don't need to do that. You know, it frustrates you. You feel frustrated, like you're saying, like you want to fight with them. You know, and it happens with all of the trades. You know, it's a pain, man. I wish,
that
yeah, I wish they could just understand what like our aspect, our the reality of things. Like this can't work because we've experienced doing so. You know,
and that's why they have people like me,
right?
which is compliance coordinator,
Hmm.
which I'm the one that has to match it up. They send in their design.
Right.
The engineers in training go through the design.
Mm.
Then I work with those engineers in training to say, okay, you want to do this, but now you have to refer to the most recent, NEC code book.
Right.
And the big thing that I noticed from my predecessors is that I'm actually showing the engineers in training where to reference this, because I know once they challenge something, they're going to ask, well, where does it say that?
Right. Exactly.
So I got to protect those guys. And with all the NFPA coding, uh, in my part of Texas, we have what we call the North Texas Council of Governments.
Mm.
And they will also have design specifications, and they will have a lot of other things. And then when we're talking about the American Waterworks Association, they have a lot of industry standards that we have to go by.
Right.
And no, we don't expect an engineer to understand every little nuance
Right.
or requirement or oddball specification that is regional or just local.
Mm.
So that's why I work with them is yes, they should know where it says that, but they have a job, and my job is to spot these things and let them know in detail, what they're proposing, or what they have in their hands that they're reviewing,
Right.
where there are some possible issues. There are some contractors right off the bat. It's not trash, but
Right.
they keep doing the same thing over and over. And
Mm.
when you've seen it 150 times, and then you get something else from that particular company,
Right.
and you just automatically go over to where that thing is,
Mm.
and it's like, yeah, they did it again. uh, one of the things is what we call appearances,
Mm.
which go in the pipelines. And typically an appearance is a device that either provides telemetry where we get pressure readings and stuff like that, or it's a device to help us control the flow of the water.
Mm.
Don't put it in the friggin' middle of an intersection, because then you stop traffic in all
Yeah.
directions.
Yeah.
Instead of making it inconvenient and a pain in the backside,
Mm.
you've just made it impossible you just close the intersection.
Right.
And
You're just causing so much traffic. You're causing so much money for like people who need to go to work and people who who are running a business. Like they're you know, it's crazy. Um, it's the same. Same goes for here. Like in parts of Manhattan, you got guys who have like water lines, and then also Con Edison, where they'll just put like their underground feeds and their transformers, and underneath, like in some parts, like where there's heavy traffic, so they have to shut down parts of the streets, or close off 2 different lanes. So if you got a 3-lane one way, they got to close off 2 lanes, and then you have 1 lane open, but it's still like it just develops so much traffic, more and more vehicles. You know, it's a pain in the ass, man. It's like, I can't, like, I don't understand why, what makes these, the engineers like, hey, let's put it here where it's just gonna be totally inconvenient for everyone else. You know, they don't like. Why not on a sidewalk? Like, why not on like you know, on a corner of a street where you can just close off like a partial one lane, and you can just have the other lanes open and just keep traffic moving. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, it's
That is actually what we attempt.
right.
I don't know how the streets in New York City are built,
Hmm.
but at least in the Dallas area,
Hmm.
they're constructed of what we call panels,
Right.
and the panels are poured in place. So you have a divided multi-lane road, 2 lanes each direction.
Right.
So let's say you're on your the side that you're driving on, the street's going to be 2 panels wide,
Hmm.
and each panel is probably 30 to 40 feet in length.
Wow.
So when you have to do something, you just have to damage 1 panel at a time. And you can, if a panel is already damaged,
Hmm.
you can just replace that 1 panel or put a patch into that panel. Um, but I have encountered where some drawings of the underground infrastructure, uh, obviously it wasn't surveyed to, and it was just signed off as what we call spec to drawing
Right.
or as to drawing.
Hmm.
And there's something underground that we're expecting, and when we dig, it's not there.
Right.
Well, it just doubled the cost of the project because now we have to destroy 2 panels.
Correct.
So, and
Yeah.
concrete's gotten expensive. Well, it was never cheap, but it's
Yeah.
expensive now. So,
It definitely is. It definitely
yeah,
is. Um,
yeah.
but one other thing, I have another question for you. Now, when you started, how did you first start? Did you start as a plumber when you first got into this line of work, or how did you start out?
I just actually really had a really high mechanical aptitude.
Hmm.
Uh, so after high school, I was still indecisive between veterinary medicine and engineering.
Okay.
Uh, Ended up moving to Europe for a few years.
Wow.
Uh, I apprenticed at BMW,
Really?
the BMW factory at Munich,
Nice.
part of their engineering program. And to be part of their engineering program, when you're going through their training at school, you have to work on the line. You also have to, well, you have to work on the line, and you have to demonstrate a mechanical aptitude.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was great. But then I went into the army,
Oh, okay.
and that was another one of those hurry up and get me in the army because I really don't see any value in starving to death. Um, so I initially went to infantry.
Hmm.
Uh, there was a shortage of aviation maintenance at that time, and we're talking about early 80s.
Right.
Uh, the Reagan era, when the military was really expanding,
Hmm.
and there was a severe, what they call, a critical understrength of aviation maintenance people.
Right. Wow.
My mechanical aptitude scores were high enough where it's like, hey, I know we know you haven't been in the military long,
Hmm.
and you've only been doing this job, which in my case was mortars, 11 Charlie.
Wow.
How would you like to become an aircraft mechanic? And you'll have to stay another 3 years. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Wow. That's pretty cool, though. How,
So
how,
I've went through the aviation schools,
okay.
and then I got an opportunity to go into a unit called the 160th, which was special operations aviation.
Sweet.
So I did that for quite a while.
Okay. Awesome.
Uh, there was a change in the executive administration of the country
Hmm.
in 90 at the end of 92.
Right.
At that time, I left the regular Army. I went to what we call a Marine Transportation Unit, which was still part of the Army.
Mm.
It was actually a National Guard unit. Uh, and they sent me back to Virginia to go through their school. I came out, I was a licensed engine man uh, uh, for the Army. So I was on what we call a Mike boat, a landing craft,
Oh,
and then
okay.
I ended up on a ship called the Brehanji Somerville.
Oh, so I was gonna ask you the license. What was that? License motorman? You said
Engineman.
engineman. Sorry. That
Yeah.
so that license was that for like motor vehicle type vehicles in the military, or is it just for um,
It
like airplanes, fighter jets, or mobile?
No, the licensed engineman
Mm-hmm.
is so if you're operating if you're operating military vessel, or
Mm-hmm.
you're especially in engineering departments, stuff like that, or you're on a commercial vessel, uh, uh, the crew, a lot of the crew has to be certified or licensed.
Right. Okay.
So I was licensed as a marine engineman for the what we call the Mike boat, the landing craft, and
Oh.
then the Brehanji Somerville. I was the engineer on that, and Brehanji Somerville is what we call the LSV, logistical support vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a landing craft on steroids. Lots of steroids. So I eventually did get a Coast Guard license as
Okay.
a engineman or a engineer under 3,000 horsepower.
Wow. Cool.
But part of that training is you have to know pipe fitting,
Mm-hmm.
you have to know electricity, you have to know hydraulics, pneumatics,
Wow.
obviously engines. Uh, you had to understand hull repair,
Mm-hmm.
but hull repair itself was actually a different specialty.
Mm.
So so basically, it's I didn't do all that high speed stuff in the military.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just the one that made sure the bus was working so
Right.
they could get to work.
So you're like the onboard maintenance guy, basically.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's is That's exactly it. I have to be on the small boats. I had to
Right.
be there 3 or 4 hours before everybody else.
Oh, okay.
On the ship, usually a full day before everybody else, because one, did they put fuel in it like they said they did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the first things to check. And then every part of the propulsion systems, every part of the what we call the operational equipment.
Right.
And operational equipment would be like the hydraulic systems, which operate the ramps
Oh.
for vehicles to drive on or off the vessels.
Mm-hmm.
If it has a crane on there, sometimes the cranes are electric, sometimes the cranes are hydraulic. Make sure that all worked. So make sure it had potable water on board, because sometimes people forget to fill up the tanks of drinking water. Um, there was one of the Army vessels that left out of uh, Newport, or actually it left out of James River facility,
Mm-hmm.
and it was supposed to go down to Central America.
Wow.
They went, and then they realized they only had on their potable water tanks, they were only like 1/8 full. So they had to turn around,
And then come
come back.
and fill up.
So
Oof,
you fill up that, refuel.
jeez.
But the time that they came back
Mhm.
and to the time they departed again, every single person in the senior leadership of that ship
Mm.
was fired.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
Yeah,
Ouch.
yeah, it not a good one.
So it's like
So
so basically you had to be there. You had to be their guy who, like, you had to have someone there to say, okay, before we go, let's say make sure we have to have the water reservoir tank ready, filled up, make sure we're filled up on fuel, make sure there's no, issues with, mechanical issues, make sure there's, everything electrical is working, right before they could just go ahead and take off and do whatever they have to do, in different parts of the world. So if they didn't, someone was going to be falling responsible for it if that, wasn't checked off. Am I right? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And the electrical one, believe it or not, the with that with the ship's engineer school,
Mm-hmm.
the it's only has like a 25% first time graduation rate.
Mm-hmm.
If you fail a section, you end up being what they call recycled.
Ooh.
Uh, so, or depending on what unit you're coming from, you may have to go and sit through that portion again, or somebody else.
Okay.
But the the uh, the hardest part, the part that seemed to get the most people,
Mm-hmm.
was either the electrical or the pneumatic hydraulic.
Mm-hmm.
It's I really don't understand why those two sections seem to be both the most difficult. The driest part, or the challenging part for me, was just learning all those regulations and requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you get the textbook and you stand up and you step back to the back of the classroom so you don't fall asleep.
Right.
Uh, the equivalent of going through like 30-40 hours of just learning code,
Mm-hmm.
the electrical code, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, but the mechanical experience and all that, and I don't really know how it helped me with Mead Corporation, how I got a job in quality control.
Right.
But with the water department, it actually helped, because
Okay.
I'm working with high voltages.
Right.
The not as an electrician but as a mechanic.
Mechanic. Right. Mm-hmm.
That's why they have electrical system. That's why they have that class called electrical safety for non-electricians.
Mm-hmm.
So the bigger transfer pumps and what we call raw water pumps, the water department,
Mm-hmm.
those start out, I believe it's either 11.2 or 11.4 kV,
Wow.
three phase.
Mm-hmm.
Those are thousands of horsepower electric motors.
Oof.
They're capable of pumping 30 million gallons a day. They're in different configurations.
Mm-hmm.
The it's n- there the It's not unlike what I saw on ships,
Right.
just a lot bigger.
Wow.
But pipe fitting, aligning machinery
Mm-hmm.
is a lot the same. Um, for some reason, the people that design and spec out the ships,
Mm-hmm.
the vessels,
Vessels. Right.
love shafts. So if almost every piece of equipment that you has a shaft
Right.
or a power transmission of any sort,
Mm.
guess what you get good at?
Installing, installing the shafts.
And
And
checking or adjusting the
right.
alignment.
Oh man, that's like that must be fun. Fun, pretty easy, I guess.
It's more enjoyable.
Hmm. Yeah, because you're
Uh,
it's
it,
it's basically like assembling and then disassembling if it's damaged and
well,
needs replacement or you
yeah,
know.
but it's more enjoyable when you have a couple of people that you're trying to show
Hmm.
how to do this and how to do it good.
Right. Right.
So,
I mean, damn.
um, yeah, so yeah, the it's another one of those things, and I'm a firm believer as if you never fall down,
Hmm.
you'll never know how to get back up.
Right.
So while it'd be wonderful for this person for the first 3 or 4 times to do it perfectly,
Hmm.
I'm not expecting that. So the thing is, he fell down.
Hmm.
Okay, let him figure
How to
out
get
how
up.
to get back up.
Right.
And it's basically, okay,
Hmm.
so the shaft is now doing that. What would cause it to do that? And when that light bulb goes off, that is
Yeah.
wonderful.
It just comes together right there and then.
Yeah, and they never make the same mistake again. So
Exactly.
because you didn't get on there, you didn't chew them out and say, hey, yeah, this could have been done a little bit different, or
Right.
there are things that yeah. So well, the shaft is still doing this. What would cause that? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
So.
but it translated to water
Hmm.
department, and then uh, they were realizing gaps in operations and stuff like that. And the background helped me end up in the position that I have now. So
And that's that. See right there. I'm just gonna say this to, like to the audience for like the apprentices out there who I know there's not a lot of viewers right now, but when this gets out and you can play this back at any point in time, any apprentice out there who watching this and listening, he's right. You if you fall under the position of as a helper or an apprentice, you want to learn something, and like what Mike said, you're going to show somebody how to align and align the shafts and the row and the um let's just say align rotors and so forth, and putting it together and then taking it back apart and figuring out what caused is to break down and what caused the motor to seize. You have someone there to show you the first time or second time if you don't understand it. And when you're out there on your own, you know, and you come across that problem, you can fix it yourself. You know the problem is. You know how to repair or replace. You know how to align, you know the you know how to align the I keep forgetting the damn name for it. It always escapes me. So you, you just basically know how to tweak things. You know how to just repair and do it once. You know, you don't have to go back and do it again if something goes wrong. You're confident enough that hey, I learned this from an experienced journeyman. You know, I know enough to now do it myself and not to have to go back and do a callback because when you go to a callback, it kind of makes you look kind of it makes you look bad. You fix, let's say, an air conditioner. Oh, the belt is weak. It's breaking. I replaced the belt, but you didn't line the you didn't line the rotor the what is it the rotors I keep forgetting the wheel alignment. You didn't align them correctly. Now the fan is like making
oh
noise.
oh the
Um,
The belts and the
Right, the
pulleys.
pulley. Sorry, I keep calling rotors for some reason. I don't know why that is. It always pops in my mind. So
They rotate.
exactly, rotate rotors. So yeah, the pulleys. You want to align the pulleys to get exactly aligned so that you don't have the wheel to wobble out or you know come off the pulley. You don't have the squirrel cage just making noise, rubbing them against the framing of the squirrel cage motor or the housing. You want to get everything exactly like just basically perfect. Just you want it to work properly. You never want to call back because it just really makes it look dumb and kind of you kind of get a little bit. I'm not for saying like I'm perfect. I've had callbacks, a few times, and I kind of feel silly, and a little embarrassed. Like, oh wow, I missed that. How could I have missed that? When you've done it so many times, it's a little embarrassing. But it's like what Mike was saying. It's like the light bulb pops in your head when okay, I know what the problem is. I know how to fix it. I don't have to go back and do it again, and you get it right. Get it right the first time, you know. Um, it's important.
One of the big things is once you start understanding how the pneumatics and hydraulics work,
Mm-hmm.
what we call the pneumatics and hydraulics are what we call fluid transmission of
Mm-hmm.
power. Electricity, obviously, is electrical transmission of power, and you're transmitting the power make to do
Right.
work. So when you break it down, when you try to break it down simply in your head, electrical, pneumatic, hydraulic, mechanical, they're all similar. You're trying to get this energy, and it could be rotational energy, it could be what we call linear, just straight lines, such as a hydraulic
Right.
cylinder, uh, electrical energy. You're trying to get it from point A to be able to do work at point B.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're working on something, and even with electronic components, what is the machine? What do you want the machine to do?
Right.
How does it do it? Then, and I'm actually have my index finger and I'm pointing out spots on the desk and going in a row right now. Okay, what does the machine do? Or what do you want from the
Right.
machine? How does the machine do that? What would stop the machine from doing it, or what would cause what the machine is doing right
Mm-hmm.
now? Just approach it like that and analyze it like that. And so there's a limited number of things that could go wrong with the
Mm-hmm.
machine. So you have a finite number of things that could go wrong. And if I was teaching a reliability performance class and stuff like that, I would go to what we call a failure mode and effects analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So, so the once there's only a finite number of things that could go wrong, and then you go, well, it's making a horrible grounding noise inside the motor
Right.
case. How many things inside the motor case can grind? One, the bearing's failing, it's
Right.
grinding, or your
The
rotor
rotor.
is contacting the
Mm-hmm.
stator. So, okay, now you've limited it down to 2 or 3 things that could go wrong.
Yep.
Now you know what to look for when you start disassembling the
Mm-hmm.
motor. And if you're real lucky, it's a bearing. And if you're even more lucky, that when you look at the bearing, you actually see what the bearing number is.
Mm-hmm.
So you know exactly what replacement part you
Right.
need. And boom, there, you
That's
fixed it.
it. That's all you need. The information is there
Yeah.
once you just start digging.
And for people that are replacing
Mm-hmm.
bearings, electrical, if they're Well, I hardly ever see them anymore. The tube type fuses, the big with the composite shells or paper
Right.
shells.
I think I remember those, seeing those before.
Yeah. So when you're replacing bearing, when you're replacing fuse, you're replacing any
Hmm.
component that has a model or a part number on it. Put that part number facing out where the next guy that works on it can see the part number right there.
Yeah.
You're not only doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the
Yeah.
next guy.
Yeah. And yeah, that's like that's you're absolutely right. Like I when I was in the HVAC field, there were times where we would approach an air conditioning unit, and the only thing that would either be there would be just the serial number. Sometimes it'd be like, okay, we got a serial number. What's the model number? What's where's the wiring schematic? When you take a cover off, you see a wiring schematic. In order to help troubleshoot, the issue, the unit. There are times where, hey, I gotta replace the condenser fan. There's no manufacturing model number, serial number, no specs. Um, you're left with like just doing the guesswork, and it sucks. Um, but there were times where we would come across a unit, very old unit, and they would actually write down the model serial number off a motor, because there are some technicians who would like to take the information themselves. They'll remove the label, or they'll take the the, the wiring diagram off. Um, the smartest thing to do is, if you're going to do that, you're going to keep it for yourself, because you feel like, hey, I'm the guy who did the job. I'm going to keep it for myself because I want to make that money. You know, be fair. Be fair enough to like at least leave some information behind on what you're replacing. Because it does help in the long run for someone else. You may not come back to that customer. They may call someone else to do the job for you. um, it's always good to leave some information behind. uh, for instance, like recent this year, my tenants upstairs, they have central air conditioning. They they'll call me to come and say, hey, can you replace the filter, or can you check on the unit. Usually half the time it's the filter that needs to be replaced. And what every 3 months I tell them, hey, every 3 months, get the filter replaced. I would literally log the date that I put in the new filter, and I will put on the side of the unit, filter replaced on this day, needs to be replaced on this day. It will just basically just give a heads up to the next guy coming behind me and saying, hey, okay, this hasn't been replaced, or this was worked on this day. They definitely need a maintenance on it. I would just basically put a log record, you know, to let them know, hey, if this is the issue that might have been the previous problem from before, I can just easily fix it now with the information that I have. You know, whether it's a motor that needs to be replaced that doesn't have the information on it, but somehow the last person left that information, model, serial number behind, just to kind of like, hey, here it is. Because especially when it comes to motors, like you were saying, putting the fuses in a way that you can see the model and serial number. Sometimes motors don't have the actual nameplate on the motor itself. It'll usually be on the box, or like what it comes in with, or a separate paper or manual. So you want to kind of like duplicate that, write it on the motor casing, and say, hey, here you go. This is the model and serial number. This is the number you order it from the supply house, and so forth. It helps out the next guy. It really does, and it keeps things moving. It keeps a well-oiled machine running. you know. Uh,
Oh, start and run capacitors, especially
yes, yes.
because there's probably 500 different types of start run
Hmm.
capacitors. Um, Even on the inside of the cabinet or under the cover, Yeah, go ahead, write down. And one thing that is helpful is to the replacement
Mm-hmm.
date, because if you have a start run capacitor of one brand
Right.
and you look at it and it was replaced like less than 18 months
Right.
ago, and then you saw it was replaced
Mm-hmm.
again, um, maybe don't use that brand anymore.
Hey, go with something else.
Yeah,
You know,
and don't buy your stuff off of Amazon,
yes, don't.
or at least don't buy your components off of
Right.
Amazon.
It's always good to get to a
So,
supply house, like the supply house that's nearby, that's well known, that has like name brand manufacturers that are just they're just reliable. They know how to build this stuff. They know how long it could last if it's properly maintained. Um, that's it. Just get it at a supply house. Don't try to get it anywhere else.
remember the supply the those reputable supply
Mm-hmm.
houses don't want to give you bad
Right.
stuff. One, because they don't make any money off of your return.
Mm-hmm.
So if they sell you a good one the first time, then they won't have to give you a replacement.
Right.
Because one, they probably only get credit for that replacement, but uh, the what it is they have to pay for their employees' time,
Right.
and even if it's only 5 minutes, that's something that they don't recover, and they're you're not making a purchase,
Correct.
and so technically they're losing money. The reputable parts houses and other suppliers understand this,
Mm-hmm.
and so uh, it's True Seeker. I can actually answer that in just a
Yeah.
moment. The thing is,
Mm-hmm.
the parts people, the reputable ones, they like your business now, but they absolutely need your business in the future.
Correct.
I so True Seeker, to let you understand, uh, I am certified as a respiratory protection specialist with Texas A&M. Tech, so uh, if there is a respiratory hazard, the employer can require that a mask is worn. There are different types of masks. The little ones that are held on your head, uh, such as the medical type masks right
Mm-hmm.
now, are what we call loose fitting. So, yes, the employee can be required to wear those if there is a documented respiratory hazard, or there are things that are considered nuisances, such as dust. Remember, OSHA is to protect the employee's health. If it is a type of mask, which we call a tight fitting mask,
Mm-hmm.
and those typically have a seal that goes around your nose and mouth. Those are considered tight fitting, and to require an employee to wear those,
Oh, with sauce Alejandro.
the
Oh, I was just gonna get them
yeah
next. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Mike.
the 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 employee the employer has to send the employee to a licensed medical professional, and in Texas, licensed medical professional is a PA, a physician, or a licensed practical nurse, and they have to have a medical evaluation. It is not an exam, it is an evaluation. It's basically a questionnaire. If the medical professional has a question, they will ask that individual employee. That has to be done before the employee can be required or allowed to wear a tight fitting mask. Tight fitting masks are things like those high end N95 masks, with the valve and multiple straps that are adjustable, and they have a seal around the edges to make sure they're secure to the face. Uh, Gas masks, which are the ones made of elastomer products, basically like rubber,
Right.
and self-contained breathing apparatuses, such as what the firemen wear, or supplied air respirators. If it's a type of respirator that is basically like a bag over your head and supplies air into those are typically for what we call escape from a dangerous atmosphere.
Oh.
Those vary from state to state, so you do need to check your state. Uh, but as for if her if her employer, if Miss Hall's employer is requiring to wear a mask, is there a documented hazard, or does your state or locality still require the wearing of a mask due to the current situation? Uh, which be to keep from getting strikes on us from YouTube, we tend to call the beer bug.
The beer
So,
bag.
so while OSHA is mostly clear on the requirement of respiratory protection,
Hmm.
your state or your locality may have additional requirements. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an answer.
That's good.
But unfortunately, if I want to teach your company to use an SCBA and how to maintain them, I require at least 6 students, and I charge $1,100.
Wow. Well, so yeah, if you want to schedule that with him, give him a shout out if you know if you want to spend the type of money to get to get to these classes. But wow, 1,100, huh? For one course?
Yeah, it's actually about 4 hours long,
Oh, okay. Makes sense then. Yeah. Wow.
and that's also why I require at least 6 students.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you have to have a certain amount of students to. Okay.
The number of
Hmm.
students is and the length of time is the state requires the length of time, but the number of students we try to make it a value for the
Employer,
employer.
right? Okay. All right. Hey, listen, Mike, thanks for taking the time to, you know, telling us more, about your experiences and your knowledge of, um, of OSHA and, all your sort of your basically your qualifications are just pretty amazing, man. You went through a lot in your life to get to where you are today. So
Yeah,
thanks.
it's all because I kept changing my mind.
But hey, it got you to where you are right now. So it worked out. It definitely worked out for you. So hey, my friend, thanks for coming. You know, giving us you know, letting us know more about you, and good luck in your retirement, man. Congratulations. I hope I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a lot of time on your hands when that when that comes. Yeah.
Oh, I've got some real challenges because even though with my experience on the maintenance
Mm.
side and then the regulatory compliance
Right.
side, I have no clue what I'm doing with countertop replacement or drywall.
Wait, hey, when the time comes to retirement, you got a lot of time to learn all that. So.
I'm actually more tempted to sign up for a online course on
Oh,
PLCs.
really? Program logic controls. You know, it
Yeah.
we're it's funny you should say that because now, especially in the HVAC industry and the electrical industry, we're more and more reliable now because the age of technology and it's growing more and more. We're heavily relying on PLCs to control everything. Whether it's air conditioning and heating, ventilation, or electrical power grids. Um, low voltage and automation, everything's going to be run by PLCs. So like that's where the money is now, where people are just going on taking online courses or going in-house courses to learn more about PLCs. Because when I was in trade school doing electrical, my last course was basically everything that we've learned from like segment 1 all the way to segment, I think it was segment 8 or 9. So PLCs was like the last part of our course in the electrical. Well, what we called it was electrical and advanced electrical in where I went to at Apex, electrical trade school or general trade school, really. Um, PLCs was like really confusing for me. I mean, it was interesting to know like some of the basics, but the course was getting a little more advanced, where it got down to like um, what do you call it? Like the in association with like diodes, LEDs, start and stop motors, and how PLCs can work with start and stop motor controls. Um, I mean, it was like, to me, it was like, oh boy, it was too much, a little overwhelming for me, but for other people, it was like, oh yeah, this is simple. Like I want to get, a lot of guys that I've, not a lot, but very few guys that I graduated with got into PLCs, and they found it more easier and more, um, it's just more simpler for them to troubleshoot and, you know, make money in the industry. But um, myself included, I was like, I know a little bit about PLCs, but that's where now it's becoming even more and more popular in the industry.
Yeah,
So,
and I can see PLCs uh, becoming becoming more common
mm,
in residential electrical
right,
systems because you can do so much
yeah,
with them.
definitely.
And it but I actually take a lot of classes through Udemy,
Mm,
UDEMY.com, and they have a lot of free classes, and uh, they're usually broken down into 15-minute or less sections, and
mm,
um, they probably have a couple of free ones on PLCs, and the I it's just my experience was initially seeing them on the
mm,
ships and then seeing them in common use in the water department.
wow.
Um, they just look cool.
Oh man. Well, listen, man. I appreciate you. Giving us, telling us about you and about yourself and everything and your experiences. And I hope that those of you who are watching, like apprentices and stuff, you take a little, on what Mike Martinez here you know, has expressed to us about his, past experiences and where he is today. And you see how, you know, someone like him, even though, like you said, you changed your mind a lot, but it got to where you are. Um, I mean, he learned, he took steps, he went through a lot in his life to get to where he is, and learning how, educating himself. The saying goes, the more you learn, the more you earn. So apprentices and helpers out there, if you guys really want to get into the HVAC or electrical industry, and you really want this to make this your career, you know, here's an example of Mike Martinez, aka Lawnmower. He did it. He went through all the trials, and I'm pretty sure you went trials and error, and you went through all the steps you had to take through the certifications, get all your credentials put
Oh,
together here.
honestly, there are a couple of times where I had to take those steps more than
All right,
once.
there you go.
Yeah. And to let you all know that yes, when I was younger, yes, I did go to college,
Mm,
but typically after 2 semesters and only one or two classes a semester, obviously being in the military, you get moved a lot. Uh, to let you all know, I did not get a degree until I was over 50 years old. And the degree I got, which is going to be a surprise to a lot of people, was for business management, which I needed to be able to become a certified maintenance reliability professional. They have since removed that requirement.
mm,
Uh, it doesn't hurt, because understanding the business side helps a lot, and it'll help you understand why, especially if you work for a larger organization or corporation, is why does top management make the decisions that they do.
Mm.
But yeah, it's, the people at the community college knew me by first name, so because I'd take one class one semester, one class another, but I did not actively pursue a degree again until I was over 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So just so y'all are aware of that. Just keep plugging away at what you do and try to be better and better. Continual improvement tends to be a buzzword nowadays, but always seek to improve
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Yep, that's key, right? There you go. So I hope you guys, audience out there, apprentices, take that advice and use it because it'll. I mean, when I first started in the electrical industry and switching over from one trade to another, it was tough. I took a big pay cut, but there was a reason. You're starting a different trade you don't know too much about, and if you really want to put in the work to know and to learn and get educated and also learn from other experienced tradesmen, you put the time and energy for it. Put in your hours. Take that overtime. You know, really dedicate yourself to the trade to the point where one day, if you want to run a business, you have that experience. You know, but maybe you don't have, like Mike said, like he went for college for business. You can learn even the business from the employer that you work under. You know, there are some employers out there who would take someone in within the company under their wing and say, "Hey, you could be like the smartest guy. You could be the guy who has you know, the knowledge of the trade and the knowledge of code." They're gonna look to you all the time for that. They're gonna say, "Hey, I want to put you on job sites," and when they see how well you do because of the dedication and time you took into the trade, and then they're going to see that they're going to take under their wing and teach you the business. you know Even if you don't have time, like say you don't have time to go to school, like what Mike did, he learned business. You may have an employer who wants to take you as like his personal apprentice and help understand the business, because who knows, he could be retiring. He can say, hey, this is a guy, this is a sharp guy or woman that wants to really stick around for the long haul and really like take over. Like they're gonna see you as the person who's gonna be next in line to take over a business, and you'll be lucky enough that you'll be either partnered with someone, or you'll be taking the business on your own when your boss retires. It's I if I was in that position, I would definitely do it. Because it'll just be easier. Now, if you're wanting, I mean, it's up to those who want to run a business, who want to see themselves grow and establish that, establish their own business, or maybe you want to like move on up the ladder to the point where you're going to become the owner. Get licensed too. Like, get enough hours, get enough experience. Read up on books, read up on code, get your license, because the moment you get your license, that could also trigger where your employer is going to say like, okay, this guy's licensed, he's going to expect to get paid more. You know what, let me take him under my wing and show him how the business is run. Because eventually, once your boss retires, like that license is, I don't know how that it works in some states, but from what I can tell, that license that's under your boss, like under your boss's name, is not going to stick around. He's going to probably want you to like, hey, use your license and and keep running the business, or sell the business to you. Who knows? Learn as much as you can in the trade. You know, you'll see yourself within at least maybe within 5-6 years, you're going to see a big difference, like where you started and where you will end up. So take Mike's advice. You know, you'll really see how you'll improve in the next over the next 5 to 6 years. So Mike, thanks so much, man. I know I've been sending it multiple times already. Thanks for so much for taking the time to you know talk to me on the channel and talk to the the audience here, the guys in the chat. Um, and we'll see you around, man. If you're still gonna stick around, let me know. You know, you can stick around for the next one. I got Alejandra, I think Paradis. If I'm saying this wrong, sorry. So I'm gonna take her in on the next call, dude. So thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it.
Sure, sure. I'll hang around.
All right, man. Take care, buddy. All
You
right.
too.
Okay, so Alejandra Paredes. I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong. Let's see. Make sure YouTube is off when you're in the Zoom. So I'm bringing you in. If you don't want to be on camera, it's fine as well. You could be on audio. It's cool. Don't worry.
Please stop.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What the heck was that, dude? Whoa. Okay. With the calls. I just saw something that we should have not. We are giving a mood. What the heck, dude? What the heck? Okay. No. What? Why is this popping up? Didn't ask for that. That was gross. What? What? I have no. Apparently, what the heck was that? That is not. Listen, if you're on here to do stuff like that, get off the channel. Get off. Seriously. Not cool. Moderators block. Any moderators in the chat, block them. That was not cool. Holy crap. I just lost the Zoom link too. What happened? Because I just got out of there fast. Where the heck is the thing? Where'd I have that? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Holy smokes. Am I still on the... Yeah, I'm still logged into it. Okay. Not cool. Listen, if you're going to come here on this channel and do stuff like that, like that's not what we're here for. Okay? You're getting blocked. You're getting blocked. So it says Rafael Mileto said, stop talking with him and continue with the calls. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know who that was. But whoever that was, yeah, I'm not cool. Post another one here because I canceled that whole thing. Hold on, how do I do this now? I'm really not sure how to really do this. I forgot how to do this. Room management, device management. Okay. Let's do another one here because I'm just gonna leave it as my meeting, and I'll just put it for another 2 hours there. Okay. And save. Start this meeting. Oh, wait a minute. Why did it... You are using the computer audio. Yes, I am.
You're on my Zoom or your Zoom?
I'm on mine, but for some reason yours... I'm logged into mine, but for some reason yours your window keeps popping up and I have to cancel it out.
Yeah, please. I don't need to get in trouble for that.
Okay, so... Invite this clip... Okay, so I gotta Hold on. Dang it. How do I do this again? Oh my goodness. That was fine. I'm gonna recopy the Zoom link because now I had to make a new room. Hold on. How did I do it before? Topics. No. So gonna save it on the description box there. Okay. I'm not sharing the screen. Participants. All right. So anybody that, hold on. That wasn't cool. So anybody in the chat wants to talk, any experienced electricians or HVAC guys, that was Lawnmower. He was cool enough, cool enough to come on to the show and talk about his experiences. I welcome any tradesman here on this channel to share with everyone about their experiences and what advice they can give to apprentices and so forth. Things like just what we just saw just now after the call was not cool. We don't do that here. So if I'm inviting you in and you're not listening in, I don't know if this person was watching something and didn't realize they were on. Pay attention, because I'm gonna invite you in while you're in the waiting room. So hopefully, gosh, I hope that does not happen again. That was not cool. No, I'm not. No. So I did a new invite. So those of you who are coming in on the channel, the invite is in the description box. The invite link is in the description box down below. So that was Mike Martinez, who goes by Lawnmower. He's a moderator in the chat. If you see his name in blue with a blue wrench, the moderators are the people who have the power to block others in the chat. So like I said, there's no negativity and nothing like that going on. We do not do that here. All right. They either block you, time you out, or just, or I'll just ban you. But this individual, I'm assuming Rafael Mulatto. I don't know if that was because it went a different name on the chat. I don't know if they are related in some way, but yeah, not cool. Okay. Now I'm just trying to figure out why this is not. Oh, it's a different window. Right, for another hour. So, wow. Why is this window? I just noticed something here. Everything's brighter now on my screen. That is weird. Everything's bright. Brighter tones. Is this working right now? No, it's not. Okay. So like I said, you guys are jumping into the convo. My main camera on my laptop isn't working for some reason. So I'm guessing I was going to restart the computer, but I was already in broadcasting live while you guys were waiting. So anyone else? Now the invite, like you said, anyone else wishing to share their stories in the trade, there is a link in the description box down below. I reposted the new link to the Zoom, so let me know. You'll be in the waiting room. Let me also know there is a chat section, so if you need to speak to me on the chat section, if you're ready, let me know if you're ready or not. While you're in the waiting room. Let's see here. No, just learning more about the Zoom thing, how it works. But so far, I got it now. Meeting, waiting room. There we go. Okay. Oops. What did I just do? No. Okay, there we go. So you also have the option, like if you want to be on the Zoom, you don't have to put on your camera. You can be on audio. All right, so and you can still share your stories and any advice you have to give. Why is this now not working? Oh, there we go. By the way, if you're new to the channel and you like the videos, you like the conversation at hand here, don't forget to subscribe. It's free for you to do. You don't have to pay for anything. And if you like what you see, smash the like button. All right. So, because it really helps out with the channel, immensely helps out with the YouTube algorithms. I guess it's all about algorithms now on YouTube. You have to have a certain amount of views and be up there, but it's not like I'm looking to be famous or anything. I'm not. This channel is specifically for like any apprentices or upcoming junior mechanics who are just getting to become mechanics in the field and needing some information or advice. All right, so let's see here. This is a different window. Huh, interesting. I don't remember having this type of window here at all. All right, so let's see. That's it. Let's get the likes up. Not a lot of people watching, but that's okay. Let's see here. What do we have? I'm gonna have to. You know what it is? Probably not a lot of people have been getting the invites or the notifications on YouTube. Now, if you are watching the after stream, basically a pre-recorded or just recorded stream, and you haven't got in any notifications, the best thing to do is just go on my channel, and where you hit subscribe, you tap the bell. There's a bell right next to the subscribe button. Tap the bell and put you'll see there says personal notifications or all notifications. I would suggest you click on all notifications to get the notifications. Like personal notifications, you'll get like maybe depending on what you would rather watch on the channel, but it's best to get all notifications. That way you can get whatever videos, either as live stream or a tool review video. It's just better that way because you may miss out on some important stuff. Or fun live stream chats and so forth. Let's see here. Yeah, because not a lot of people. And I just did get a new phone, so not a lot of people would get the notifications. So I'm not sure. Let's see here. Hey, my mom's here. Hey, Ma. How's your day so far? Oh yeah, thank goodness she missed that. she And as you see, any of you guys who do that, thank goodness she wasn't here when she saw it. But, oh, we're good, Mom. We're good. We're definitely good. Like I said, there's no room for that type of behavior on the channel. So if those of you who are in here to spam, to, be bullies or just to promote your other people's channels or your own, I advise not to. This is a place where we talk about the trades and give advice and information, help others, maybe DIYers as well. Those DIYers who come in here, you need to understand a little bit about electrical or air conditioning. We'll give the advice, but we will mostly highly advise you to call a contractor and not work on something on your own unless you have some sort of qualification. Yeah, we had a Zoom meet, had someone waiting in the waiting room, and I told them like, hey, make sure you cut off the sound off of YouTube, and we can talk whatever. And I'm gonna admit you right now, and we just saw some obscene someone, I guess, I don't know if they either didn't know I was putting I was admitting them into the chat or whatever, and they had something inappropriate on their or they could have done it on purpose. So we'll get, there are people out there who do that, and that's not we're not about that on this channel. So there was a person that was rather rude. Yes, there was a person rather rude on the chats too. Thank you, Lawnmower. He definitely pointed that out too. I don't know if it sounded like he had some relation to the person in the Zoom. I have no idea, but there's some people who also were just rude and want to keep the chat moving. Listen, it's my show, whether I want it to prolong or not. You know, I'm the one that will keep it moving. If you don't want to be here, okay, if you don't want to be here, leave. I don't have a problem with you leaving. Just don't try to rush my guests. You know, if I get guests in the show coming in on Zoom, don't rush them. You know, they could be giving valuable information. If you don't like what you're hearing and you're too impatient, leave. Go somewhere else. I don't care at this point. You know, I'm not here to become famous or anything. I'm just here to help others out in the trade. All right. So, yeah, we did have a rude person earlier, and one of my moderators blocked him, and I appreciate that. Any moderators, like I said, moderators are those who have their name highlighted in blue. They're the ones who make sure there's no negativity, no rudeness, no bullying. They time out or block the person. So that's what they're there for. And I appreciate the moderators as well for doing that. Let's see here. So is anybody else? Actually, I would like to bring somebody here too, but I'm not sure if he's probably available. Now, he's in the HVAC industry as well. It's actually someone I went to school with and back in high school. Let me see if I can find him. Where is... Oh, here we go, right here. I was trying to send a link to him on the channel. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see if he's interested. I don't know if he's going to want to be interested, but we'll find out. Okay, I sent him the invite to the channel. Okay, yeah. 10 years later. Okay, that's old. A bit more than talking, they did it on the Zoom meeting. Yeah, that was not cool. They could have just I don't know, but they're just rude. Very rude. Okay, now so they have to deal with me. I appreciate that, Mom, but you know, I'm a big boy. But I appreciate that. All right, so due to some malfunctions, or those of you who are just joining in on the chat in the stream, this is the only camera that's working right now. So just bear with me on that. By the way, let's do this real quick. If you are living in the New York City area within the 5 boroughs, okay, give us a call. Give Leader Electric a call at service department or in contracts. We do in the service department. We sent out our electricians in a company van and attend to your needs, your electrical needs, and around your home, whether installing a ceiling fan, a light switch, an outlet, a range hood for your kitchen, or maybe you have an air conditioning unit that needs to be checked on electrically. We do troubleshooting, new construction, violations removed. We also install fire alarm and security systems, CHP generator systems. We do remodeling and renovation work. We do intercoms and 220 volt services. We do voice, data, audio, and video, AC lines, boiler, and motor controls. So give Leader Electric a call. We have the service department at 212-665-0600 for big, large project jobs or renovating. If you're renovating a home and want your your house redone, done, new wiring, a wiring upgrade, you give us a call at our contracts department at 212-665-0606. We're located at 2218 Broadway, Suite 244 in Manhattan, in the heart of Manhattan, New York City. Area code is 10024. Or contact us through email at contact@leaderelectric.net and visit the website at www.leaderelectric.net. For all your electrical needs, give us a call and we'll be there. All right, so let's see here. There was, I think, did I ever mention, I don't know, last week's stream, I think I mentioned something about reversing valves. I think we were talking about, I mentioned a little bit about reversing valves and how heat pumps are like growing all around here especially here in New York City. Heat pumps are being more and more common now because people who don't want to pay a separate utility bill, for instance, gas heating or like hydronic heating or oil, people are switching over to air conditioning heat pump systems, where their heat pump is basically the application where AC unit can also produce heat or provide heat in a same package unit or a split system. And what I mean is that a system that uses a reversing valve, where reversing valves are used to switch from AC to heating in a reversal or forward motion of a compressor. Because air conditioning, when it comes to air conditioning, you have a compressor which is outside your home and what they call a condenser unit. It's like this big machine unit. It's got a coil wrapped around with a big, with a fan, whether it's blowing horizontally or blowing vertically up. And there's a compressor, and it makes that loud noise. And it's just for those of you who don't know what that is. It makes a loud noise, like a big buzzing noise. That's the compressor. It's working to circulate the refrigerant, or what we HVAC technicians call Freon. It's a trade name, but the technical term is refrigerant, where it's pumping refrigerant in a forward motion, going through the condenser unit, which is the big unit that's sitting on top of that concrete pad outside your home or behind your backyard, and circling around that condenser unit and in through your house up into the attic, or if you don't have an attic, it's to the indoor blower that's hanging above either your window or doorway or towards your ceiling. And it's basically turning from a high superheat, a subcooling temperature or high superheat liquid line, or well, I should say, I'm sorry, I'm gonna take that back. A liquid line where it's, when you touch it, it's really hot. It goes through to their indoor unit, which is also the evaporator, which cools down the inside of your space, your home, and it becomes a vapor, which goes directly back to the compressor, which is your condenser unit outside. There is a device that's called a reversing valve, which is installed in the outdoor unit, which is your condenser unit. And what that does is, when you have that installed and it's wired directly to the thermostat, you have the option to switch from cooling to heating. And what that does, it has basically two valves. You have one valve that's closed, which is for the heating, at the heating mode, and one valve that's open for your cooling. So as the Freon is going through that open valve in the cooling mode, it will go in normal rotation and a normal circulation. So then you have your cooling. Now when the winter season comes, you want to have heating. So you switch over from your thermostat to a heating mode, where now the valve on your cooling closes, and the heating valve, the valve that goes into heating mode opens, and now the compressor itself goes into reverse. It communicates with the compressor, and it goes into reverse mode, where now it reverses the circulation. So now the pressures change. So now the pressure is on the low side of the system, which is the suction line. So those of you who are in the air conditioning field, you know this, how heating reversing valve works. Your suction side becomes warm and your liquid line becomes cold. The condenser outside starts to cool, and it gives off a cooling, like it's basically like now you have air conditioning outside your home and heating inside your home. You're reversing the effect of the unit. So the circulation reverses, it goes through the liquid line and out the suction line. The suction now becomes, look at it as like as the liquid line, and your liquid line becomes your suction line. Yo, look at this. KleinGuy Studios is here. What's going on, man? He's always here. He's always in the chats. So now the reversing valve, the cooling mode valve closes, heating, I like to call it, the heating valve opens, and now everything goes in reverse. So now you have heating indoors on the same indoor blower, and you have cooling coming out being rejected. So you have cool temperature being rejected out of the condensing unit, which is now in effect causing heat to come into your home. A lot of customers refer to that because it just falls heavily onto one utility bill. Honestly, yeah, it works that way, but you're sort of increasing your bill even higher, I guess. You're running it off the same your same line. You're not running it off a separate meter or anything like that. So a lot of people who including middle class family homes, will want a heat pump system, and what they don't realize is that you're actually paying more than your electric bill, because now you're basically pulling more, you're consuming more electricity than you would rather on a gas type furnace, because now you have a motor, like a compressor that has like half a horsepower, or sometimes a 1 horsepower compressor that's doing work all year round. You have it running in the winter season, then you have it running in the summer season. So, but it's efficient. Heat pumps are efficient. They work. The only thing is that what happens if your reversing valve stops working and it's only working in the cooling mode, or if it's only working in heating mode during the summer. The cost of maintenance is like, you have to call someone to get it fixed, to get it replaced, which is more of a bill, because now for the HVAC tech to come in, they have to evacuate, or depending on the issue, whether the unit is only stuck on cooling mode, they have the option of now pumping down the refrigerant into the condenser and pulling a vacuum on throughout your line set. Then they have that opportunity there and then to remove and replace the reversing valve. And replacing the reversing valve is not as easy as it looks. It's basically, you have to desolder the old reversing valve and removing it and bringing in a new replacement, and then soldering it back together. Let me just actually fix this for a second, because that is still on. There we go. So when it comes to that, you're evacuating, you're pulling a suction, or pulling a vacuum, then you're replacing the device, you solder it back up, then you have to pull a vacuum again because now you've contaminated. Um, well, technically, you don't have to. What am I saying? You don't have to pull a vacuum when you do a heat pump, a pump down. What you basically do is just you remove it and then put in a new one in, and then you have to pull a vacuum, and it takes time. It's very time consuming. At least a max of, I believe, a max of 4 hours to do the job. Um, you got about maybe 30 minutes to desolder it, to do a pump, like 30 minutes in total to do a pump down and to remove the reversing valve, and then resoldering a new one, and then pulling a vacuum. Um, so the whole time you're there, you're paying now. The technician's there hourly. They're paying you pay by the hour, and now you have to pay that technician on an hourly basis. A lot of homeowners tend not to do a they tend not to have a contract with the the company themselves, like the HAC service company. They don't do a service contract, and what they end up doing is paying a full amount on the service work. Um, and sometimes they'll go blindly about calling a service tech and not knowing the pricing of how much it would cost to get the job done. They'll just blindly call them and say, "Yeah, I need a guy right now, real quick. I don't care how much how much it is." But when the job is done, after the technician comes and does the job and gets it done, and everything's working, all hunky dory. Once that bill is laid on the table, they freak out. Um, so for those of you homeowners out there, do your research. If you're moving into a new home and you have a air conditioned unit that, whether or not does have a heat pump system or not, and you're aware that you're buying a house with central air conditioning, start shopping for an HVAC contractor to come and do service on your air conditioner. Because if you do your research and you find the right price to get it done, you may want to do future business with that company. Get a service contract, do a yearly or bi-yearly service work with them. Well, not bi-yearly. It depends on how long the service contract is, whether you do a yearly one or like a bi-yearly, 2-year, 4-year contract. You may even get like discounts with that company too. So be smart about purchasing a home and knowing that if you're buying a home with air conditioning or heating equipment, get a really good contractor and to get them to do a really good job on maintaining your equipment. Because if not, and you try to do it yourself, you're going to be kind of out of luck. You're going to be really in a tight jam. You're going to be in a bad situation where in the summertime you may not have heating, or in the wintertime you're going to be really cold. Some homes have separate, one AC, one does heating. That's cool. Well, if you can afford it, that's great. But then comes a time where, what if both units have to be maintained? That's double the work for a contractor, and it's double the price. Conan says, I have a service contract yearly. It includes 2 visits, rainy problems a year. Well, okay, cool. That's dope. Yeah, it's always recommended to have the service contractor come every twice a year, because they could winterize the system and prepare for the winter. And when the springtime comes, they're going to do preventative maintenance. They're going to check on the unit. They're going to, make sure there's no contaminants in the lines. Make sure you have, no issues. Your filters are replaced. The bearings on the motors are good. The pulley belts are, in great condition. They're going to make sure your squirrel cage, is rotating normally. It's not rubbing against the housing. It's not, no, the pulley wheels are misaligned if it uses a belt driven motor. They're going to make sure that all the components are working properly and operating normally. Nothing needs to get replaced, and if it does, they'll replace it right there and then, or just tell you, hey, this is what's on my list. This is what needs to be replaced. Do you want to replace or not, or you want to wait a certain time to have us come back and replace it, so you don't have to, worry about anything else. Some to be, what surprised me is some customers I remember back in my HVAC days, some customers we would go in the spring and do preventative maintenance, and we'll point out like, hey, your run capacitor is done. It's not working, or it needs to be replaced. Um, you have bad contactors. That's part of the list, and we'll give them a list of things that need to be replaced, and they'll just say, well, come back when it starts to get really hot. We'll call you back, and but in the meantime, can you get this ready for us until then? And we'll work something out with the customer. Say, yeah, we can get this ready for you. We'll have it put to the side, so when you give us a call when you're ready, we'll come in and replace it right there and then and have it up and running. But for preventative maintenance, what we normally typically do is we'll obviously run the unit, see if there's any problems. If the compressor cuts off on high pressure, we check the indoor unit, we check the indoor coil, the evaporator coil, see if it's clean. It needs to be brushed and cleaned. We check the outdoor condenser unit, see if there's not, if it's not dirty or caked with dust or any outdoor debris. We want to make sure basically the condenser, the evac coil is like breathing. And what I mean by breathing is like they're clean, they're able to, airs are able to pass through them, and that way, you get proper operations. You get your unit's running normally. We want to make sure your condenser motors are running normally. They're not seizing. They're not, or maybe you had a contractor was trying to fix it, and suddenly the the rotations in reverse is blowing hot air down and it's heating up the compressor and it's causing the trip, and it could be a number of things wrong with your air conditioning system. So it's always good to do that. You get a service contract, and if you like the contractor you're with, you may even get discounts or offers that will lessen the bill, put more, leave more money in your pocket, that sort of thing. So, hold on. Do we have anyone? Oh, no one yet on the Zoom. So, anybody here who wants to go one-on-one with me on the Zoom chat, feel free. You'll be placed in the waiting room, and I will need you to have YouTube turned off in the background. Okay, so hold on. What is going on here? Why is this popping up? Later in the 2020. Oh, this is nothing. Okay. So yeah, so let me know, guys. You don't have to be on camera. You can use your audio microphone to speak with me. We had Lawnmower, who goes by Mike Martinez, aka Lawnmower. Probably Conan Man, you probably missed it, but if you want to go back in the stream, you can reverse it back. We had a pretty long conversation about his career and how he's now also Lawnmower is going to be retiring in 4 weeks. So like I said, I congratulated him on that, and he's going to have a lot of time on his hands, which is going to be great. And I hope he enjoys his retirement. Let's see here. So anybody here in the chat or anyone just joining in on the conversation, let me know if you have experience in the HVAC or electrical industry. There's a link to the Zoom in the description box down below. You can click on it or copy it, and it will take you to the waiting room. So if you like to share your experiences or give advice to helpers and apprentices out there who are watching the channel, watching the stream, you're more than welcome to come on, and you go on one-on-one with me live here on the show. So let me know. Let's see here. I'm sending. Wow, it's so funny. I'm still sending invites, even through Facebook. This is crazy. I got a lot of people on Facebook. Okay. Not a lot that I know who are in the trade. So let's see here. Who can I put in? Who else can I send invites to? Now, if you're still not getting notifications to the channel, there could be a reason for that. You may have not clicked on the bell notification. Usually when people subscribe to a channel and they don't click on the bell notification, it's usually set to personal notifications. Click on the bell next to the subscribe button and then scroll up to all notifications, because you will get all the notifications, whether it's a live stream, whether it's just a video recording of tool review or a video of some sorts. You'll get the notification. There is a delay. Usually, sometimes, or most of the time, when people go live or post a video, the notification is sent out a bit, like, I would say about maybe 3 minutes later after it's posted, or 5 minutes later. So that is just YouTube's bandwidth. Usually doesn't have nothing to do with the bandwidth of the individual doing the video, but it's usually with the bandwidth with YouTube. It's all the information that they're getting from the creators and people who are on YouTube, and they're getting those notifications a little late. So a lot of information is being passed through. They're trying to send all the notifications as quickly as possible. So I know there's some of you who don't get the notifications. You say it in the chat, hey, I haven't gotten your notification. Hey, what's going on? It's not us, it's YouTube. Okay, we can't do anything about it. As a YouTube channel creator, we can't really do anything about the notification. All we can tell you is just subscribe and hit all notifications. Everything else is all on YouTube, so their bandwidth is it's a bit slow. So have some patience with that. It's also the reason why they don't let everyone go live anymore, because they're trying to reduce the amount of people who go live. The only way you go live, like for instance, you used to do live automatically on your phones. Now they don't let you do that on the YouTube app, because there's too many people doing it and it slows down the bandwidth. So what they're doing now is having creators who aren't at that 1,000 subscriber mark to just go live on their laptop or go live on Streamlabs. Like, Streamlabs app, they'll let you go live. All right, so we have Roman Casas entered the waiting room. Okay, Roman, who is Roman? Are you ready to be? Give me 1 second. Oops, what did I just do? Did I do something? Okay, Roman, let me know in the chat on Zoom if you're ready. Make sure you have YouTube turned off in the back. Okay. If you scroll down on the bottom screen of the Zoom, you'll click on chat. It's got a little air quote blip that says chat underneath it. Click on that and let me know if you're ready to be on the Zoom. Okay. Let me just put my display here. All right, now if you're here just to, like I said earlier, we just had someone put up some inappropriate stuff on the Zoom chat when I admitted them, and I told them to turn off your YouTube in the background. So if you have something playing and you're screen sharing for some reason, turn that off. If you don't want to be on camera, that's fine. You could leave it on audio. If you're playing something in the background, I suggest shut it off, because it may interfere with the audio of the stream. All right, so hold on a second. Ow, just popped my shoulder a little bit. Let me get back on the screen here on the tube. Roman, are you ready? Um, Guys, when you go on the Zoom chat, just make sure there is a separate chat here. There's also a chat window. So if you're not ready, or if you are ready, let me know in the chat on Zoom. So that way, or if you're in the live stream, just let me know in the chat section of the live stream, and I will admit you in on the chat. So Roman Casas, let me know if you're ready, because you're not responding. So if you don't respond, you're still gonna be in the waiting room. Let's just make things easier now for everybody. Okay. All right, let's see. Roman, if you can hear me, let me know in the chat, either on Zoom or on the live stream. Okay. I just paused the... Hold on, I'm looking at my phone. I just paused it. There we go. Hello. Hold on a second. All right. Let me ask this guy here. There we go. Hopefully he got the message, but I'm not sure if he's ready to be on the Zoom chat. So in the meantime, sorry if I'm messing with the microphone a little bit. I'm just adjusting it to, you know. I'm waiting on you. Like I said earlier, if you can't hear me, I already sent a message in the chat if you're ready. But if you can't hear me, please don't put in anything that is not appropriate on the Zoom. Don't do anything inappropriate on the Zoom. We're not here for that. Because you're only embarrassing yourself, and you're not really embarrassing me. You're just embarrassing yourself. So don't do that. Don't put anything inappropriate. This is a, friendly stream chat about the trade. So if it's not trade related, don't be in the chat. Don't be in the waiting room or in the Zoom. Okay. I don't think he's not responding. So if I don't get a response from Roman here, I'm just gonna have to have removed from the waiting room. And I'm not seeing nothing yet from him. Oh, he's not responding. I don't think he's responding. All right, so sorry, buddy. We're gonna be moving on then. So once I remove you, just to be clear, if I remove you from the waiting room, you don't respond back. Yaki, is that your name, Roman? Roman Casas? I just want to confirm. If you're ready, go on Zoom. Oh, I have my chat muted. Okay. How do I have my chat muted? It can't be. Do I have it muted? No.
the bottom.
No, I did. It's
It's
not
good.
muted. It's not muted. The
Oh.
No, the chat room is not muted, my friend. I don't think it is. You're in the waiting room, so you should be able to see in the chat. Okay. All right. So here we go. I'm going to admit you in. All right. Before I switch over. Okay. Hi, how you doing? Hello, can you put that down there, Roman? In the background? Okay. If you can, that background music, can you turn it off before I put you on? Yeah, that. All right, Roman. So I'm gonna put you on real quick. Just give me a second here. So what do you do, my friend? Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. Okay, buddy. I'm gonna have to turn you off. That's not really cool, man. Okay.
XML.
Okay, so all right, so that was not cool.
What he said.
He was really being inappropriate. You see, this is not a joke, man. Like seriously, I'm gonna kick you off if that's gonna keep happening. So I'm serious.
Don't do more fat then.
Babe, 1 second. Um, so I'm not gonna take that, guys. Like this is serious. This is not a joke, man. You got guys coming here just joking around, being inappropriate. This is not cool. All right. You're gonna get kicked off. So he was just being inappropriate. Luckily, I did not switch over. So Yaki, the chat is muted for the host, right? If that was you, Yaki, seriously, man, you're gonna get. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remove you, buddy. Let's see here. There we go. So that wasn't cool. He had his music in the background, and like the guy was just rude. So hold on a second. How do I do this again? Okay. All right. So let's see. How can I actually? I'm gonna change the. Everyone. I'm gonna change some of these settings here. All right. How do I do this? More at nope. Don't want to change. Don't want to do that. Okay. Please someone enable waiting room. Lock meeting. Okay. Hopefully no one else heard that. I doubt it because you guys would have heard it in the background. Yeah, you guys didn't hear that. So, anyway, yeah, he was just being rude, so I'm not gonna put him on. Why is he still here? Yeah, I'm gonna hide this guy, so I'm banning him there. Yaki, that wasn't cool, dude. You know, don't do that when you come onto the channel. Like, it's not funny. All right, so like I said, we get haters and foolish idiots on the channel, so that's not cool. I'm gonna block you. All right, so is what it is. You come on the channel, like we're serious here. We're not joking around like that. All right. Okay, so all right, lawnmower. We got Rafael Mileto. That guy was rude. Yaki, yeah. I'm going to remove if this thing will let me. Okay. Yeah, I just reported him and the other guy. Where is he? He's not there. There he is. Boom. So, these two fellas just can't decide to come on here and be, jokers. Not cool. I'm not tolerating that shit. Sorry to say, but we're not here for that. We're not here for that. So if you think you're funny and you're gonna do that, you're only embarrassing yourself and you're making yourself look like a fool. Okay? Probably lawnmower, yeah. Yaki and I don't know. It could be the same person. So don't worry, they got reported. Know this, just come on this channel. We're not joking around here. This is a serious channel. I'm not here for your amusement. Okay? If you think you're a funny person, want to joke around like that, like I said, you're only embarrassing yourself. You're looking like a fool. Those other people who are like just trollers, guys who want to troll other people's channels and social media accounts and stuff like that. They got no life. They got nothing better to do, so they want to do that. But it won't be tolerated. Not here, and I'm pretty sure it won't be tolerated with anyone else's channel either. They're going to be blocked. They're going to either get reported, blocked, or there's even some people who may come across and they try to make them, they do the same. They start trolling them, but they're only setting themselves up to look like idiots. They're setting themselves up for embarrassment. And you have some YouTube creators who won't tolerate that, and they will embarrass them. So you trolls out there, be careful what you do, what you say, because you're either being recorded and it could be used against you, and you could be tracked down and be found. Don't think you won't, but it will. You will. It can happen. A warning. All right. So, anyways, I'm probably just gonna have to end it now, and let's close off this the Zoom. And by the way, like I said, if you come in here, start saying stuff, you get kicked off the Zoom. You can't come back in. All right. So, your problem, not mine. All right. So let me close it off here. I guess because the other camera won't work. I don't know why my main camera doesn't work. Probably has to do something with the Zoom. Not sure what it is. But I'll get it to work by next week. Alright, so I think that's enough for today. So I hope those of you who are on this channel and, like I said, you learned something today. You got an idea of what what it's like in the real world in the trade industry. We had Lawnmower, or Mike Martinez, aka Lawnmower, who explained how what he went through to get to where he is today in his career, and now he's leading up to his retirement, and he gave some really good advice. And I hope those of you who are watching are, listening, taking in the advice, and using that, implementing that in the field. And I hope you guys just have a successful I wish for a successful future for those of you who are trying to build one in the industry, in this trade. Um, I thank you to all the guys who come in, support the channel, whether or not, whether it's, you're coming in saying hi, goodbye, and you're checking in. It matters, and I appreciate that. So we're gonna finish up. We got about 10 more minutes. We're gonna finish a little early. Um, Listen, when I do the Zoom chats, I'm willing to do this to get to know you guys more and give you an opportunity to really come in on the channel and to show and spread, give your side of the story about what you've gone through in the trade, and give some advice and help share what you know. Um, Through Zoom and stuff, and like I said, these guys who come in, like just now, these two individuals came in and try to joke around and stuff like that, and it's not gonna happen. All right, you're not gonna come here and start, try to make me. I mean, what is honestly you coming in here and trolling and stuff? Like, what are you trying to prove? What is it you're trying to prove? You're only proving how stupid you are. Really. You may be sitting there and thinking, oh, I'm not stupid. Well, yeah, you kind of are for doing that. You think it's funny, but it's not. You're just making yourself look like an idiot. All right. So, but those of you who come in and are serious and you watch my live streams and you taking the advice and taking the information lightly, and you're using it, thank you. Keep supporting the channel. If you like what you see, smash the like button, and if you want to get more, subscribe and hit the bell notification. Again, thank you for showing up. Thanks to Lawnmower for taking the time to coming in and getting a chance to talk with me and again engage with some of the people in the chat. All right. Also, if you're interested in being on Zoom and you want to you share your story about yourself being in the electrical and HVAC, or whether you're a plumber or welder and you want to keep you want to share your story, how you became who you are, and what led you to doing what led you to that trade, what why you got yourself into the trade. Come on over. I'll have the link of the Zoom available, and I'm taking in serious people who are coming in on the channel. So, just come on in, and don't be shy to to let us know. If you got some advice you want to share with others in chat and the channel, feel free to do so. But until then, guys, thank you for all the support, for coming in. Once again, oh wait, who's this? Oh, is this the same guy? Okay, but I blocked him already. Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, thanks for watching. Always remember, wear your personal protective equipment, watch each other's back, help one another out, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a great day. All right. So, oh, and what was the other thing I was gonna say? Yeah, see you too, Lawnmower. I'll see you next week, buddy. Have a good one. Also, when's Father's Day coming up? 2 weeks, right? Yep, 2 weeks. So Father's Day's coming up. So the Sunday the 20th, I won't be in on live stream because I'm celebrating Father's Day. And to give you guys a break too, if you have a father figure in your life, and even if they're not your father and he's a father figure, and those of you who are also single mothers who are acting also as fathers as well, I know it sounds weird, but celebrate. There are those who don't have fathers, but they have you have a male role model or someone in your life, and who is like a father figure to you. you know, spend time and thank them for being around. All right. Until then, guys, take care. I'll see you guys next week. We'll discussing more about a little bit more about the HVAC industry. We'll be taking Zoom calls again. I'm gonna start doing more of this to get engaged with more of you guys. More of you professional tradesmen out there want to come in and chat up and share your side of the story of how you became an electrician or welder or carpenter. I'm opening more up to that and having you guys come in as a guest. So don't feel discouraged. Come on over. Share your side of things. All right. So until then, guys, take care and have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.